reality and entertainment are two different things. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the very popular rapper known as Gunna being accused of quote-unquote snitching after he pled guilty in the RICO case that involved another popular rapper by the name of Young Thug and his whole group called YSL. Now, that either stands for Young Stoner Life or Young Slime Life. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But people are saying because Young Thug and all the other guys, for the most part, are still in jail, probably about to go to prison, and Gunna is out and probably won't go to prison, that the reason why he's not there anymore is because he snitched. But before I get to that allegation, let's back up a little bit to explain why this story is really hot right now, why it's important. Now, the Fulton County District Attorney by the name of Fani Willis is behind all this. You see, she is very popular, has become very popular over the past few, I say months, maybe a year or two. The first thing that she is known for is investigating Donald Trump. You got an army of lawyers on this guy. And I guess her allegation against Trump is that he involved himself in the 2020 election and tried to change the results, specifically in Fulton County, where she's a DA. You know, the whole thing with Brad Roethlisberger and Brian Kemp and all of that. Well, she's saying that he needs to be, I guess, held accountable. That's one thing that she's involved with. But beyond the whole political thing, beyond Trump, she's also involved in trying to clean the Atlanta streets up. Fulton County, I think, is mostly in the ATL city limits. And of course, that's her jurisdiction. So she has quite a few high profile cases against gangs or alleged gangs in the area, one of whom being YSL, led up by Young Thug. Now, I think the general consensus is that Young Thug is the ringleader, calling shots. I mean, there's all kind of video recordings of him on the phone talking about, hey, y'all ain't killed them people yet. There's all kind of stuff like that against Young Thug. That's probably why he's still in prison. I mean, in jail right now, about to go to prison. But Gunna is kind of seen as a guy that was just hanging around, not really involved with the real stuff that was happening. And just for reference and for a little bit more context, YSL have been accused of committing 50 murders in the Atlanta metro area. 50 murders. So I think about 2014 to 2015 to now, 50 murders in the Atlanta metro area. That's quite a bit right now. People just don't really understand that. They think, okay, you're still out, you snitch, you were involved. You got this guy right here throwing slices of cheese in front of a vehicle that he believes belongs to Gunna in some random parking garage in Atlanta. This is a Maybach truck. Talking about he's a rat, all this and that, talking about he snitched. I'm going to address all that, but first, let's get into this news report about Gunna, and then I may get into more about YSL and about my personal opinion about this whole idea of quote-unquote snitching.
Rapper Gunna walked out of the Fulton County Jail after pleading guilty to a racketeering conspiracy charge.
Authorities arrested him and fellow rapper Young Thug, along with more than 24 others earlier this year.
As Fox 5's Eric Perry tells us, Gunna's guilty plea does not necessarily mean he's admitting guilt.
We were there as rapper Gunna, also known as Sergio Kitchens, took his first steps outside the Fulton County Jail after taking what's called an Alford plea. These are the first moments Sergio Kitchens, or Gunna, was able to freely leave the Fulton County Jail Wednesday afternoon. Gunna entered what's known as an Alford plea in connection with one count in the RICO Act case against him. Metro Atlanta attorney Ryan Greathouse says, in simple terms, it's a type of guilty plea.
Where a criminal defendant is ultimately saying, I don't agree with the facts as they're alleged. I maintain that I'm innocent. However, I believe that it's in my best interest to go ahead, plead guilty.
Gunna and another well-known rapper, Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, are two of the defendants indicted for charges in violation.
So that's the actual Gunna's right there on the right-hand side. Young Thug's right there on the left. Young Thug is seen as a guy that's actually running the whole situation. And Gunna's just kind of like seen as a square. He may not be, but that's kind of what he's seen as. And that's probably why he's not going to prison.
of the RICO Act. The indictment claims they are part of a gang known as Young Slime Life, or YSL. Prosecutors say those named in the indictment have engaged in violent criminal activity in the city for years. Gunna and his legal team released this statement saying in part, "While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way." In exchange for a guilty plea, attorneys say Gunna will not serve any time in prison. So what does the rapper's future look like? The plea deal sentenced him to 5.
Hold on, to kind of clarify that about the no prison time, he's been locked up for about a year already. So the no prison time means, I think he had like a 5-year suspended sentence, 1 year of time served, and 500 hours of community service. So let's make that clear. He's been locked up, but they're not going to give him prison time or any additional time in jail. He'll come home right now. He's home right now, actually.
5 years. Serve any time in prison. So what does the rapper's future look like? The plea deal sentenced him to 5 years with 1 year to serve in prison. That time was commuted to time served, and the balance was suspended. He will need to complete 500 hours of community service, with 350 of those hours talking to young men and women in the community about the dangers of gangs and gang violence. And while Gunna says he did not agree to testify, he can still be called as a witness.
While the state may consider this a victory on some level, I think that you're going to see mixed reaction from his fans.
At the Fulton County Jail, I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
Eric, thank you.
So there you have it.
Walked out of the.
So there you have it. That's the news report about Gunna. Like I say, he probably was not the guy that they really wanted to get anyway. They wanted to get some of these actual goons on the streets, some of the shot callers, not the guy that was just hanging around rappers. Being a rapper himself, just, rapping about, that's not who they really want to get. They really don't want to get Gunna. They want to get really Young Thug and some of the actual shooters on the team on Young Stoner Life, a.k.a. Young Slime Life. And to talk about that right quick, the difference between Young Stoner Life and Young Slime Life, slime is an actual reference to gang stuff. I don't know about all the gang, Blood Crip, I don't know about all that, but I know it's a gang reference, specifically slime. But Young Stoner Life, that's the whole, we're just a record label. We're just rappers. We produce music. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference between Stoner and Slime. But I digress. So people are saying that Gunna snitched, and that's why he's out. And that's why he's out. But I don't think that he snitched because he didn't actually do anything, in my opinion. First thing. Second thing, what if he did snitch? Let's talk about that part, because the reality is the majority of these criminals, I'm not going to say all, because some guys don't tell. Some guys do their time and they don't tell. But most guys, when given the chance to snitch, they will. They most certainly will. These guys, okay, we're talking about like real criminals. Real criminals aren't necessarily honorable people. Sometimes they can be in a twisted way. It's like, okay, you're breaking into people's houses, stealing their belongings. You're killing people, innocent people sometimes as well, but you're an honorable person. Okay, whatever. And when I say criminal, I don't mean you got caught with some weed in your car. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about you out here killing people like YSL are accused of. Okay, you talking about 50 dead bodies on your potential record. That's not the same thing as, okay, I stole a candy bar from the store or I had a joint in my car. But anyway, these criminals are not really good people. So why would they not tell on you? They would tell on their grandma if they could get a year off of their sentence. We see it all the time on these shows like First 48, when they go into the interrogation room and they sit them down with a bottle of orange juice, bottle of Coke, whatever it is, some Sunny Delight, Chick-fil-A sandwich, some fries, hot straight from the DoorDash. They'll tell everything. I didn't do it. He did it. Now, a lot of times they get a lawyer and whatnot, but a lot of times if they're given a chance to tell, they will. Now, if you're dealing with cartel members or something like that, like high organized crime, that's different. They're not really going to tell because they know they'll die or their family would die. But a regular person, they'll tell. They will. That's just how it goes. So this whole thing about, oh, you can't snitch. Nobody, and first of all, and beyond that, who cares about snitching really? If you're just a regular civilian, a regular normie, and you're not involved in crime, why do you care about who tells or not? Why is that important? If you're involved in crime, if you're part of a cartel or a gang or something like that, you care about snitching because you don't want to get told on and go to jail, and you don't want a guy that you were right next to tell on you. So, of course, you care about it. And if you're engaging in criminality, you can't have guys that are going to tell in the mix because that's bad for business. Because if he tells, the whole operation goes down. But if you're just like me, right? I'm a square guy. I'm watching news on Twitter. I'm scrolling on Instagram on my phone. Why should I care about some guy that told on a criminal? He's also a criminal. That's criminal and criminal violence. Why do I care about that? That's not really a real thing. So the guy that was throwing out slices of cheese for the rat, that was just for social media, trying to get attention. It wasn't really a real thing, honestly, because guys tell every day, okay? Like, let's just say as I close, you got a guy that gets arrested. He's been driving drunk, okay? And he's got a warrant about some gang stuff. And he's about to go back to the penitentiary. He's already on probation or parole. And they say, hey, look, man, you know what? We'll throw all this stuff out and I'll act like I didn't even see you, okay? I know you were driving, you had been drinking, you had a warrant, but let's just say I can make the interaction go away. I make it go away. But on that warrant, it was some gang stuff going on, and we're trying to get one of the top guys in that gang. So do you have a direct line to him? Now, if you tell, we'll just dismiss all this. So rather than getting 20 years in the joint, you come home. Guys are going to take it. If you have no money for a lawyer, public defender, 20 years in the joint, or going home, you'll tell. And that's usually how it goes. So I don't care about this whole snitching thing. That's kind of silly to even be concerned about that. And most certainly, if you're a regular civilian not involved in crime, please tell. Please tell. People shooting their community up, doing whatever they want, and nobody knows anything. It would be a shooting with 300 witnesses where one person shot one person and not one of the three, they don't know anything. Oh, I didn't see nothing. 300 people around saw one person shoot one person, but nobody knows nothing. We got to stop this whole culture of quote unquote not telling in the community. The whole no snitch rule is killing us, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Gunna and the whole allegation of snitching thing? Do you think he told? Do you care if he told? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I don't care if he told. I don't think he did, but I wouldn't care if he did because most guys that are involved in crime will tell. That's just the reality. If they have the opportunity and they know they won't die or their family won't die, and sometimes they don't care, their family will die. They don't care. They'll still tell because who wants to be in prison for 25 years when they could just go home? This is something very simple, but a lot of guys don't have that chance. So they got to do this sentence. They got them red-handed, got them on security camera. Everybody knows they're guilty. They got a long rap sheet. They don't have the chance to be able to tell like they would want to. So most guys, given the opportunity, given the chance, they'll tell. That's just what it is. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.